This is a summary of John Steinbeck's The Grapes of Wrath, all the way from chapter 1 to chapter 17, because I don't want to summarize every 3 chapters, that would be too long. Also, a little note, some chapters don't even add to the plot, other chapters are mainly just talking about situations that the migrants of people going to California, also known as Okies, are experiencing. So mainly, I'm just going to be talking about the situation that the Jones family are in. So you better be ready. Also, I might put in other out-of-context things, seemingly out-of-context things, but that's just the plot of the chapter. Let's get this started with. So the story starts off with the status quo. Men are looking at the fields, all the ruined crops, and all the wives are looking at their men, hoping that they will not break down. Which might actually happen because, well, look, you just lost your food supply. But then you see the flame in their eyes. Their fists are clenched. I also like to imagine them cursing towards the gods. And this is when the women know that their families will be alright. Alright, by alright, they mean, like, the problem won't be as big. They won't be as affected as it would be if the men have given up. Now we cut to a diner. Inside, there's a man, and there's a lot that's going on. Outside, there's a truck, and you can see there's a sticker on it called No Riders. The man sees the truck, but ignores the sticker, and waits patiently outside, waiting for the driver to come out. The driver exits the diner, and tells the man waiting outside, "Haven't you seen the No Riders sign over there?" And the man is all like, "Yeah, but sometimes a good man is gonna be a good man. Also, if you don't let me ride, you're not gonna be a good person, and you're forced to carry out the sticker." Actually, this is what he exactly said. "Yeah, but sometimes a man is gonna be a man. And, of course, people are always going to be good guys no matter what. Even if a big old businessman is making him put a sticker on a truck just so he can make a living." And so, of course, this guy had to consider about it, and he's like, "Alright, fine, hop on this little batch in between the trunk, in between the driving part, and the back where I load the stuff. First turn, you got in the car, but until then, you're staying there. Fine by me." And so the driver enters, and the guy who's requested for the hitchhiking is right there. He says, "Alright, let's go." Boom! And the truck drives away. So on the road, after the hitchhiker gets in, the driver indirectly asks the guy about, "Okay, so what you've been doing? Looks like you've been doing hard labor, so what have you been doing?" Pestering him, saying, "It's none of my business," but he really wants to know. The driver obviously knows all that. And so the hitchhiker decides to tell him everything. "My name's Tom Joad, and I've been in prison." "Prison? Alright, none of my business, I didn't ask for it." "Yeah, but you were indirectly asking for it." "Says what? You know what I was going in prison for?" "None of my business." "Well, I'll tell you what. Homicide." "Yeah, I killed some people. That's why I stayed 4 years in prison. Now I'm out and jailed. Out of jail. I'm in bail." "I told you, I didn't ask for that information." "Oh, but you were indirectly asking for it. Anyways, see that little turn over there? Yeah, that's my stop." Screech! Vroom! There's this turtle in the middle of the road. That's just literally the next chapter. And the car whisks by and deliberately hits it. The shell luckily protected the turtle. Tom finds the turtle and decides to give it as a little present to his little nephew and brother. On the way, he meets a former preacher who is sitting under a tree resting out, saying, "I'm no longer a preacher. Ever since I had some, weird things after I baptized the women, I just quit the preaching business." "So, are you doing anything?" "No." "Why are you asking?" "Well, it's because I'm going to my folks. Wanna come with me?" "Sure, I got nothing to do." They get to the family farm, but they find it deserted. Where the heck is everybody? Must have been those rich people. They must have just went ahead and forced your family off their land. Rich people? Oh, right, they were locked in prison for 4 years. Well, yeah, Dust Bowl happened, a lot of bad things happened. Afterwards, farmers couldn't pay their debt no more. So, rich people came and took their land. "But this is our family land." "Well, yeah, but they don't care." I wonder where they are. He lets the turtle loose because he thinks it's going to be a pretty big deal trying to take care of it while he finds his family. And then they meet this little old friend, and he says, "Oh, your family? They're all staying at their Uncle John's place." "Oh, well, let's go there. But first, we must celebrate with some pork." Yeah! They start a fire, and then they start eating and cooking something. But then the sheriff comes, and they're like, "Oh, put out the fire and scatter." The sheriff comes around and is like, "All clear." In the morning, they go ahead and go to Uncle John's place. And then the next chapter, it goes on like this. There are a bunch of cars being sold in somewhere, and then there's this farmer who says, "I need to migrate to California. Got a car? Maximum price I can pay is $50. "Oh, well, this car's actually $60. "Oh, come on, man. You know I can't afford that." "Sorry, man. I gotta pay to someone who can pay for it." "Oh, fine. I'll pay you $60. Here you go." "Nice deal, sir." Can't believe I took out a loan just for this old car. And then the sales guy has this internal monologue saying, "That thing's not even worth 5 cents. Man, I love scamming people. It's the only way I can get through with this depression. All profits need to be done so I can help my own business and my own way in life. Haha, this is the only way to live." Then we cut to the scene where Tom has went to Uncle John's place, and he's all like, "Oh, let's surprise Pa Jode." "Hey, Pops." "Son, you're home. I was just fixing the car up." "Wait a second. You haven't broken out from prison, have you?" No, I'm on parole." "Oh, that's good. I want to surprise Mom." "Sure, let's do it." What am I gonna make for dinner?" This is Ma Jode, by the way. "Hey, Mom." "What? Tom, you haven't broken out of jail." "No, I'm on parole." "Oh, good. So, as you can see, we're going to California." "California? Why California?" "Well, according to this dumb pamphlet, there's a bunch of jobs in California. So many jobs that everyone can get them." Everyone can get them. They're wasting money on sending these pamphlets anyway. Why would they lie? Of course, that's what I said. Anywho, come in for dinner. Sure thing, Mom. That night, they all decide to prepare for the journey ahead. All the Joe's family. Al, Sharon and Rose, and her husband, a guy named Connie. Well, they go ahead, and they decide to go on a trip to California too. In fact, the whole family's going. It's also worth mentioning that Sharon is a few months pregnant. Gramps and Granny are all going too. Gramps chickened out at the last second, but the family just drugged his coffee, so he would just fall into a deep, long sleep, just long enough for them to put him onto the trailer. And then, the next morning, they head out. Everyone gets into the truck. Pa's driving. Ma, Tom's right next to him. Ma, Gramps, and Gran are in the back. Sharon and Rose and Connie are all here, cramped in here. And all that dust, remember the Dust Bowl in the Dust Bowl video I made? Oh, the truck is making a lot of the dust going up into the air. There's too much dust. And with all that, we head on out to California. On the legendary Highway 66. They also bring their dog with them. This is basically what happens in the next chapters, until chapter 17. Grandpa gets really sick, so he eventually dies, because, well, they're on the road. They don't have proper medical care. While they're stopping for gas, a car runs over their dog, which is now dead. The gas guy feels sorry, so he's all like, "Alright, I'll bury the dog for you." Vroom, 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 they go. Eventually, even Grandma gets sick. Something in their car breaks. They're forced to go to a nearby camp where there's water and shelter, but it is kind of pricey, 50 cents per day. Well, that's a lot of money back then. While Pa and Tom are looking in the scrapyard for a copy of a spare part, since their version of something in the truck was broken. The guy who owns the scrapyard is like, "They don't pay me enough for this." Tom is all like, "Quit feeling sorry for yourself. You can have the part for a discount. Deal." They get the car fixed. What? Let's try that again. They get the car fixed. Boom. And announce the whole family that they can move out the next morning. And so, that is the whole summary of chapter 1 to chapter 17. And so in the end, that is the current journey of the Joes family. That's how far they've gone. John Steinbeck did put a lot of character development into all of this, and it is worth it. Everything is worth it. Everything put in there. It adds to the text. It adds to the feeling of the Grapes of Wrath. I'm not trying to analyze it, but that is the end of the summary of chapter 1 to 17. So I'll just end it on this note. Just read the Grapes of Wrath if you want to find out more, if you can't wait for the next video. So until next time, my fellow people, Sean out. Peace. Bye-bye!